Hey y'all, so in this video I will be going through what should be in your kit for your practical portion for the state board exam for cosmetology in Michigan. I will also be providing pictures so that you know what the items look like. Also, I did want to add that I'm not going in order of how it's going to be on the state board exam. I'm just going like based on how I put it together in my phone. Okay? So just bear with me, child. And then I'm gonna leave this up so that you guys can be able to like fast forward and rewind so that you can, get to the parts that you need more clarification on. And I'm also gonna try to talk as slow as possible because I know that this is really important because you're trying to get your license. All right, so let's jump right into it. Okay, in this portion, you can have a water bottle, hand sanitizer, disinfectant, a 30-gallon trash bag, and white paper towel, like on a roll. So with your water bottle, it can be in a spray bottle, or it should be in a spray bottle, and you need to label that. The hand sanitizer also needs to be labeled, and you can either do the pump style or you can do the flip top where you squeeze it into your hand. If you are using the pump style, you cannot touch the tip of the pump, and if you're using the flip one where you squeeze out, you cannot touch the top of it because it'll be contaminating the bottle. The disinfectant bottle needs to be labeled as well. And for the disinfectant, you can just go ahead and make your barbicide mixture inside of that bottle and then just label it disinfectant, just the same way that you see it when you're going to school for cosmetology. For your gallon trash bag, or your 30-gallon trash bag, sorry, you'll use the clothes hamper that is pictured on this picture, and you will just take the trash bag and put it inside of the hamper and then label it trash. You can use an index card and tape it onto the hamper, or you can make a label that you peel and stick that says trash on there, but it does need to be labeled. For the paper towel, you can use a roll of paper towel, or you can use professional paper towels like the Woobies or the PST towels. Roll of paper towel can remain on the station throughout the exam, because the paper towel, you can be able to use that to like lay it flat and put your utensils or implements on top of the station so that they're not on a bare counter, or you don't have to worry about packing extra towels for that. Okay, this portion is for the manicure. You will need one mannequin hand with one nail polished. You will need a smaller Ziploc bag labeled cotton balls, orange wood sticks, and emery boards or nail files. This smaller bag will have those things listed on there inside of there. If you are not using cotton balls, you can use the cotton strips, or you can use the cotton rounds. You'll need towels. You'll need one to roll up for an armrest, and then the other one to, like wipe the hand clean when you're doing the steps. You'll need a finger bowl, cuticle remover. You'll need to label that cuticle remover. You'll need polish remover that is non-acetone. You'll need to label that polish remover. You'll need a bottle labeled finger bath solution. This bottle, you can make the solution out of soap and water. You do not have to use a lot of soap in the water. You just need enough soap to make it bubbly, because they want to be able to see that it's finger bowl solution. You'll need hand lotion, and you'll need to label that hand lotion. You'll need a base and top coat polish, labeled that. If you want to use one bottle for the base and the top coat, you are more than welcome to do that, but just make sure that the label on that bottle says base and top coat. Everything is so literal for state board that I know it's tedious, but seriously, it's tedious. Anyway, you'll also need a dark polish of your choice. Make sure that you label that polish. This polish, it can't be, don't use white. Don't use like pale colors, like pastel Easter colors. Think like red, dark purple, navy blue, green, like something dark, because basically you want them to be able to visibly see you polish the nail and make sure that it's clean. And you'll also need a large 3-gallon Ziploc bag, because this is what all of the manicure implements will have. That large Ziploc bag needs to be labeled pre-sanitized manicure implements. For me, when I did state board, I made sure that I put everything for each section in that one bag. So when it was time to pull out the portion, all I do was just go into my kit, grab the bag, sit it on there, done. I ain't have to go through the bag trying to look for all this stuff. I ain't have to do that because I didn't want to worry about that. Also, I will add that your mannequin hand, make sure that you put the tips on there before stay board, and make sure that they're glued on there really nicely. Make sure that you don't have like any glue like on the little skin of the mannequin, or like any leftover polish from, you know, you practicing for state board. Make sure it's super clean, because you don't want to be marked down due to something that you could have cleaned up yourself before state board. Okay, gotcha. Let's go to our next section. This portion is for the facial. This facial will be done on a mannequin, not on a real person. You do have a choice in how you drape your mannequin for the facial service. The choices are to drape with a towel only, or a towel with a shampoo cape, or with a neck strip and a shampoo cape. You will need a small Ziploc bag. I know that it's not on the picture, but you do need a separate small Ziploc bag labeled for the neck strip, the head cover, and the spatulas. If you are not using a neck strip, you don't have to worry about adding one in there, but it does need to be labeled. And then you'll need 2 containers for the massage cream and for the cleansing cream, and you will need to label those 2 containers, one massage cream and one cleansing cream. You will also need a bottle for astringent, or also known as toner. You can put water in here, or you can put alcohol in here, or you can do a mixture of water and alcohol, whichever you choose. Please make sure that you label that bottle astringent. If you don't use the word astringent, you can use the word toner. It is fine, because it all mean the same thing. You will also need facial tissues. These facial tissues can also be wet wipes, like baby wipes, anything that you can use to be able to wipe the massage cream off of the face. That's what the facial tissues are. So you can either use a dry facial tissue, or you can use a wet wipe, also known as a baby wipe. Or you could use makeup remover wipes as well. What You will also need to have cotton in there. I chose to use cotton rounds, but you can feel free to use strips of cotton, or you can be able to use the cotton balls, whichever one you're comfortable with. And then you will also need a 3-gallon Ziploc bag labeled pre-sanitized facial implements. This bag will have everything that I listed inside of there. And please make sure that you do have that separate small, sorry, that was a fly. Please make sure that you have a small separate Ziploc bag inside of there that is labeled for your head covering and your spatula. Spatula, you can actually use an actual spatula. I did not. I used the big popsicle sticks as shown in the picture. You can use those to scoop out the massage cream and the cleansing cream, because remember, you cannot use your hands to reach in to grab the massage cream and the cleansing cream, because it contaminates it. You should also not be doing that in real life as well, but that's another video. And then for the head covering, you can be able to use a plastic processing cap, you can use a turban, or you can use a towel. I used a plastic processing cap because I had a bunch of them laying around, and they cheap that you can get anywhere for like as low as like maybe $2-3 for a bulk pack that has like maybe 10 of them in there. And I also added hair clips in here, because you can, if you have a mannequin with a lot of hair, you can be able to pull it back off the face like mine is, and you can be able to clip it in the back like I did before you put your head covering on. This portion is for the chemical services. You will need a waterproof cape, towels for chemical draping, which is one towel, the waterproof cape, and then the towel over top of it. You'll need sectioning clips, combs for sectioning, and measuring applications. I recommend you get the multi-purpose combs, not the rat tail combs, because they don't have the numbers on them. And you'll also need a separate small baggy labeled spatula and a pair of gloves. I know that it's not on the picture, but you do need that. And for spatula, you can use the large popsicle sticks like I have pictured there. You will need um, four small round containers with the top on there, one for hair color, one for lightener, and one for chemical relaxer, and one for protective cream. All four containers need to be labeled what they are for. You can use cholesterol or conditioner for your hair color, lightener, and chemical relaxer. And then for the protective cream, you can use gel. I use the blue gel that you can be able to find like at the dollar store or at Sally. It's real cheap. It's just some blue gel, or they have pink gel as well. They might have green, but just some gel. But make sure that all four of those containers are labeled. Sorry, you'll need a tint bowl. You'll only need one because what I did was I used the small containers that could actually fit inside of the tint bowl. So I took the top off of it and then I just set it right inside of there. So once I was done, I took the little tiny container out, put the top back on there, and moved on to the next chemical service. Okay, it was no cleanup necessary. Also, you'll need tint brushes. I tell people that you'll need at least four because you'll be using a new and clean brush for each chemical service that you're doing. You'll also use a chemical brush to get the protective cream. I mean, to apply the protective cream. I'm sorry. You will need a shampoo and conditioner and label them shampoo and then label the other one conditioner. I recommend you get a travel size shampoo and conditioner and then just label it like I said, because you're literally just, trying to shampoo it out and clean it out once you're done with your process during cleanup time. Then you will take I mean, I take. Then you'll need your large 3-gallon Ziploc bag labeled pre-sanitized chemical service implements. This will have everything pertaining to your chemical services that I just listed. Okay, this section is for the permanent wave. You will need a waterproof cape, 2 towels for chemical draping, and you can also, but you're not required to, but I personally would recommend you bring an extra towel for absorbing excessive mock solution when applying for the perm. You'll need combs for parting and sectioning. You'll need sectioning clips, perm rods according to the length of the hair. I recommend that even though they require that you are wrapping 5, bring at least 10 or 11 just in case like you drop a few because you're nervous or just because it slips out of your hand. And make sure that the perm rods that you're selecting are no larger than the purple perm rods. You'll need a perm bottle labeled mock perm solution. You can either ask one of your instructors or even go to Sally's and see if they have like a old perm bottle or neutralizing bottle that's empty, and you can just rinse it out and fill it up with water and then just label it mock perm solution. You cannot use snap top bottles or tint bottles. Do not get those. Do not, do not, do not. Then you'll need a separate small baggie labeled in wraps, coiled cotton, which is also like the cotton that comes in a strip. And you'll need one pair of you'll need one pair of gloves in that small baggie. I know that it's not listed, but the items are pictured. So in that small baggie, I'll repeat, you'll need to have your end wraps, coiled cotton or the cotton that's on the strip, and one pair of gloves that needs to be labeled in wraps, coiled cotton, pair of gloves in that little baggie. Then you will take your 3-gallon Ziploc bag and label that pre-sanitized permanent wave implements and put all of what I just named in that bag. I know that this is getting repetitive, but bear with me. We almost out. You need to have a separate Ziploc bag labeled blood exposure kit. In this kit, you need to have a pair of gloves, band-aids, cotton, antiseptic, and two small disposable Ziploc bags. One needs to be labeled biohazard bag. The other one does not need to be labeled. For this portion, I mean, well, not for this portion, but for this bag, what I did was I just went to go get a travel size first aid kit, and then I got my little gloves and I put them in there. So my little first aid kit, I took that and I labeled that first aid kit and put it in there. Because remember, we have to be very obvious with everything. That's why everything is so labely, because you got to be so a mess. But yes, but the outside of that bag does need to be labeled blood exposure kit. This portion is for the haircut. Your mannequin must be at least 5 inches long because it will be required of you to take off a minimum of 1 inch. So my advice would be that the mannequin that you take, make sure that an instructor has checked it first before you take it to state board, so that it's as even as possible and it doesn't have like so many short and long pieces in there, because it definitely makes the hair cutting go by so much faster and so much easier. You will also need a waterproof cape. You'll need a neck strip or towel for draping. If you use a neck strip for draping, you need to have a separate Ziploc bag to label it neck strip. You'll need a razor with a guard and blades, and please double check to make sure that your razor does have a blade in there, because there has been stories where people have used their razors for state board and it ain't no blade in there, and baby, you gonna be stressed, okay? Because you can't leave and go nowhere to go get a blade. You can't ask your neighbor for Nathan, okay? You need your shears, your combs for parting and sectioning, and you'll also need sectioning clips, and you'll also need to include your blood exposure bag in this section. So then you'll need your large 3-gallon Ziploc bag to put all of your hair cutting implements in there, and it needs to be labeled pre-sanitized hair cutting implements. And our last beloved section is the blow dry and thermal curl. Your mannequin after the haircut needs to be long enough to put these curls in there, child, because you have to do a figure 8 and you have to do an on base and off base curl. So it needs to be longer, because depending on what color, not color, but depending on what size curling iron you use, you need to still be able to curl it. So also keep that in mind when you're doing the hair cutting portion. Like, okay, this is how big my curling iron is. I can't go no shorter than this because I'm gonna be stuck. I'm gonna be jacked up. Okay, that's what you need to keep in mind. So you'll need to have your cape. It should be your comb out cape, and you need a neck strip or a towel for draping. Again, if you do bring a neck strip to drape in any portion of the state board exam, it needs to be labeled separately in a separate Ziploc bag. You need a blow dryer with a concentrator on there. You'll need a round brush or a vent brush or a large toothbrush. On the picture, I put a vent brush on there just because it's easier, but whichever one you're comfortable with using, you are more than welcome to use it. You'll need sectioning clips, and you'll need an electric Marcel curling iron. You'll need a hard rubber comb, and you'll need a neck strip or white tissue paper to test on the iron. That also needs to be in a separate Ziploc bag labeled test strip. You can bring styling products if you like. Personally, I did not, because I wasn't about to fool around and I wasn't about to waste no time putting no dang on styling products in there. Okay, all right. Then you'll need to have a large Ziploc bag labeled pre-sanitized blow dry and thermal curling implements. Okay, and you'll put all of that stuff in there. Also, I put a oven mitt in there because when you're packing your kit away at the end of the exam, I'm pretty sure your curling iron is going to still be hot. So you can be able to slide your curling iron in that kitchen mitt and put it in there, and it won't melt no plastic. It won't damage anything, like not a thing. So I am so happy that you guys have stayed to the end of this video. I really do hope that this video helps you out. I know I probably looked very flustered in this video, and that's because I was trying to be as thorough as possible, and because I want to try to pass, and I want this video to be very helpful. A few tips that I did want to add in there was, please make sure that you do not leave your mannequin stand. Make sure that that is also in your kit, because your mannequin stand will be used for your manicure and for the other portions of it, you know, to put your mannequin on a stand. Okay. And you can also use more than one mannequin. So the mannequin that you use for one portion, like say for instance, you use a short haired mannequin for your facial, and then you want to switch it out for your perm rods and for your blow dry and curl, you're more than welcome to use more than one mannequin. Personally, I just used one because, again, I like to be efficient and effective. I don't like to feel scrambled and all over the place and feeling like, dang, you grabbed the wrong mannequin. So I try to keep it smooth and just use one. Your kit should be no larger than a 30 by 30. It can be a medium-sized suitcase, a sports bag on wheels, a trolley, or a large plastic tote with the lid that snaps shut. Your kit must remain closed when not in use. Make sure the examiner can see or hear your kit being closed every single time that you open it. Never, never, never put implements back into your kit. Never do that. Whatever you need, like I said, make sure that it's out and it's out in the open so that you do not have to go into your kit for nothing. Nothing at all. So when I say small Ziploc bags, I mean like the little sandwich baggies. The large Ziploc bags, I recommend I already told y'all the gallons that I recommend, which is like the 2 or 3 gallon. Personally, I use the 3 gallon. If they don't have 3 gallon, but they have like 5, that's fine. Just, it's like the freezer bags is what I would say. Like the freezer Ziploc bags that are bigger, those are the ones that usually come to mind. Also, with like the finger bath solution and the perm solution, those little bottles, I personally would recommend that you take like a plastic baggie and put it over top of it before you put the top on, and then turn the top so that it doesn't leak out. And then, just for extra measure, when you set it in the kit, set it sitting straight up. Don't have it slanting. Don't have it just in there all willy-nilly. Sit it straight up. And then carry it like that as well. You always sanitize your station. Sanitize your station before you start laying paper towel or a towel, whatever you're laying on your station for your implements. Make sure that you're sanitizing your station and your chair before you begin the portion. And I will also say, breathe. Remember that you know, what you don't, you don't. That's what I tell myself so that I don't stress myself out. You know everything you need to know to pass your state board. You are going to pass. Make sure that you listen, because the person that will be giving your exam will tell you everything you need to know before you do it. Meaning, if it's time to set up, she'll let you know it's time to set up. When it's time to start, she'll let you know when it's time to start. When it's over, she'll let you know when it's over and it's time to clean up. So just breathe, listen, focus on yourself. Don't look at nobody, and nobody should be looking at you, but you know how that go. But you are going to do well. Again, I hope that this video was very helpful. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I really wish I could have done this video like actually packing the kit, but you know, stuff happens. And I took my state board like a while ago, actually. Anyway, So if you do need help, please let me know, because maybe I can be able to pack a kit in another video so that you can see like how I put everything all together. But this is the end of the video, and remember, it's you that makes you beautiful. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay?